Welcome, my dear friends. Let me first of all offer you my warm greetings of the new year 2025. I am an English professor, Mr. Negi, the author of the book Speaking Environmental Studies in Public, and the author of the YouTube channel Environment and Public Speaking. Today, it is our 11th video, and the title is Pro-Life Progress, Please. Evidently, in this topic, we are requesting the top political and business leaders of the world to give us pro-life progress, pro-life development, that is sustainable development, environmentally sound development, a development which will not harm our life, a development which will not harm the biosphere. Are the leaders of the world at present not giving pro-life development to the people of the world? No. How? Let me first of all tell you a humorous event that really happened to explain to you this particular point. In India, a poor lady was carrying some goods in his basket and going to the market. He asked a rickshaw puller to stop. Rickshaw means it is a big tricycle. It is pedaled. It will be pedaled. It won't be motor driven. One or two people can sit in it, and some luggage can go on that rickshaw. The rickshaw puller told the lady, all right, sit down on my rickshaw. What will be the charge going to the market? The rickshaw puller told $10 if you'll sit on the rickshaw, and $10 more if you put the basket on the rickshaw. There was bargain for a long time, but the rickshaw puller insisted on being paid $20. The lady then sat on the rickshaw. While getting down, she gave only $10. Why? You told that if I put my luggage on the rickshaw, then you will take $10 more. But I have put the luggage on my head. While coming in the rickshaw, I have not put it on the rickshaw. It was a nice, amazing, it was a humorous situation. Every one of us was present there. Everyone laughed at it. The rickshaw puller didn't charge anything. The rickshaw puller thought that she was a foolish lady, but actually she was not a foolish lady. She seemed to be foolish, but she was really intelligent because she could save $10 more. But our leaders, on the other hand, are taking such steps that they seem to be wise, but actually they are unwise. What is the example, you'll ask me? The example is electric trains, run by electricity, battery-run train, battery-run cars. There seem to be wise steps, but these are not wise steps. How? When the battery runs out, we charge it with electricity. 90% of electricity of the world comes by burning coal and petroleum. So if you are going in an electric car, then you are burning coal or petroleum. You are speaking just like that lady. That lady seemed to be foolish, but she was wise. But our leaders seems to be wise, but they are not wise. They build factories saying that it will get development in a particular place. But in those places, I know from experience, there is groundwater pollution, metallic pollution in some factories. It is lead pollution, arsenic pollution. manganese pollutions. Bacterial pollution can be removed by bleaching powder and disinfectants. But you cannot remove the metallic pollution. And you are getting a lot of disease. So this is not pro-life development. In order to know whether it is pro-life or development, there are three indicators we must know. First indicator is that we will be doing that development, but we will not harming the quality of the air, water and soil, the forestry and the biosphere. And number two is, by that development, the conditions of every individual in the country, economic condition of every individual of the country will be very fine. They may not get big income, but everyone will get job. It should not be jobless growth, but our factories today, our modern development today is creating jobless growth according to great experts, economic experts of the world. Well-intentioned economic experts, not vested interest economic experts. If you have a textile mill here, big textile mill here, and there will be all textile mills, then 1,000 people may get the job in the textile mills. But 5,000 people will have no work in villages and different parts, which they would have made, the textiles they would have made in the cottage industry, small scale industry. So there is jobless growth in this kind of development. Do you think the condition of the country is good? Economy is good? No. If the income of the individual will go low, the income of the countries go low. But then they don't express it, the political parties. They say that our country is very prosperous. For example, now America, the government of America is running with $35 trillion of borrowed money. The government of India has borrowed $2 trillion. All the countries have borrowed. It is not Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and some other countries which have become bankrupt. All these big countries are bankrupt, practically speaking, if you will pay off the debt. And there will be disparity in income if there will be no sustainable development. The rich will be very rich. During the 2 or 3 years, the rich people have become 3 times richer. So there is a big gap between the rich and the common man. So there is no sustainable development. And the third indicator is that we should have to understand the ironies and absurdities of life. I was reading the autobiography of Bertrand Russell. In one line he told that a leader or a person cannot make good decisions if he doesn't understand the ironies and absurdities of life. How, sir? You see, I'm giving you some example. For example, as I told you, in the factory gives such more employment, it involves irony. It involves absurdity. It employed 1,000 people, but it threw 5,000 people out of employment in villages. This is something absurd. This seems to be one thing, and actually it is another thing. This involves irony. We must get the capacity to understand ironies and absurdities. Then we can do pro-life development. Otherwise, cannot. In this connection, let me give you a very significant example that the people, 8 billion people of the world will understand. He must be a very big man. Everyone must know him. Who is that man? That man is Donald Trump. He recently won the American election. Donald Trump is telling that I'll buy Greenland. Now, Greenland is under Denmark. Denmark is not directly controlling it. Greenland is an autonomous territory. And Donald Trump wants to occupy Greenland. If he could not buy it, if Denmark will not sell it to him, then will send his army and get it. That Greenland where Eskimos lived, that Greenland where Eskimos, we know from childhood. When we read about Eskimos, we felt romantic. They lived in igloo, etc. And that will be taken by Donald Trump. For what purpose? Because he will drill oil and natural gas from it. But he should know that oil and natural gas, if it is burned, there will be more and more global warming. If there will be global warming, there will be wildfires, droughts, floods, storms, and everything. Donald Trump wants to earn $3 to $4 billion, $10 billion from Greenland. But in the meantime, there is wildfire in America, in California, in the Hollywood of America, in California, Los Angeles. It has burned the cities, the jungle have burned, and the superpower America is unable to stop it. And America and its people have already lost $3 trillion. $3 trillion means $3,000 billion. So Donald Trump is penny wise and pound foolish. All the leaders of the world are penny wise and pound foolish. He says, I will save some more $1 billion if I don't join WHO World. He says, I will save more $1 or $2 billion if I don't pull away from Paris Agreement, because I have to give my donation. In this way, he wants to save money. And he says that I am a nationalist. That is not a right thing. So far the wildfire is concerned, this is not an ordinary wildfire. For 1 month, their aeroplanes have been deployed. But they are unable to fight the fire, although they get tons of water from some place and they power it, they spray it on the jungle, but the fire is not extinguished. Why? The answer is best given by wildfire expert. Her name is Kathleen Trudeau. He is the wildfire expert of Climate Central. That is a climate body of America, international climate body. She tells that the first reason of wildfire in California is global warming. The second reason, what is the second reason? It is global warming. And the third, it is also global warming. How? First reason is that California is such a place, sometimes there won't be rain for 5 to 6 months. But this time, it was a longer period, 7 to 8 months. So the condition was dry. It was a drought-like condition. So that is why you say there is drought due to global warming. And the second reason is that the trees, because of the drought condition, the trees around it are not the actual trees which you see with moisture in it. The trees are actually inflammable petrol, etc. They are inflammable standing firewood. Who some miscreant has not burnt it. Kathleen Trudeau says that the things around it should not be inflammable. The question is not who is setting fire to it. Are the firefighters of America unable to extinguish? Yes. How, sir? Because when there will be big storm, at that time there is storm. Now also there is some storm in California. The aeroplanes cannot fly. We know that when there is storm, many of the aeroplane services are stopped. They are halted in different airports. So all the regions are global warming. It is storm. It is drought. Everything. That is what Kathleen Trudeau tells us. There are other examples also about development which is not pro-life development. I will give you 3 examples. First example is from India. Second example is from the oceans. Third example from the great urban centers of the world. In India, our government wanted to so smart. Everything is smart. Smartphones, smart meters, smart everything, smart cities. Now the country wants to become smart. 2-lane roads are becoming 6-lane roads. They are cutting millions of very old, naughty, gnarly trees. And now there being no big trees, it cannot absorb carbon from the atmosphere. That is not the right step. You say we are going to do development, but actually you are inviting all sorts of wildfires, storms, drought conditions for the country. Number 2 is from the oceans. Now, I was reading a book by Mr. Andrew. He is a Harvard geologist. He is telling that now the Gulf of Mexico has become a dead zone, that part of the ocean. Why? Because now in order to get more food for our people, we apply a lot of fertilizer, we apply a lot of pesticides, etc. on the soil. And those fertilizers, especially fertilizers, go into the ocean. The fertilizers have nutrients. Through rivers, they go to the oceans. In the oceans, they fall. There is algae, microscopic plants, and some plants inside the sea. They grow in large number because they get fertilizer. When the plant die, they fall down on the seafloor and they decompose. By the time of decomposition, oxygen is necessary in the chemical reaction. That is called biochemical oxygen demand. So there is no oxygen inside that ocean. And without oxygen, no fishes, no sea animals can live because they need oxygen, dissolved oxygen. So that become dead zones. 20 years ago, the area of the dead zone of Gulf of Mexico has hardly 15 kilometers. But it is now 20,000 kilometers. And now gradually whole world become a dead ocean. We have got our life from ocean. Scientists say that our blood tastes a bit salty because long ago we were in the oceans. Actually, that is true. Speaking from the evolution point of view, it came out from the ocean 450 million years ago. And if the microscopic plants die, we can't have oxygen. 70% oxygen of the globe is not come from the Amazon rainforest. It is coming from the sea plants. And we won't have it. And third is from urban centers. You see what is happening? They are planning great urban centers. Bangalore is a big city with so many people, very rich, having flats, but there is no groundwater. What will you do with a city where there is no groundwater? In Delhi also the same condition. There is air pollution in Delhi, a lot of respiratory disease. When COVID came, you could not feel COVID in the villages. People in the villages told that there was no COVID here. In small towns, there was COVID. But in Delhi and big cities, it lasted for 1 or 2 years more. So speaking from health-wise, the way our government is doing development is not pro-life development. And this is the situation. Dear friends, let me not speak much. I shall say a few wise words told to us by Robert Schuller, the great motivational speaker and writer of the world. He says there are a lot of problems in the world. The problem is not money. The problem is idea. In the 21st century, we can modify the statement of Schuller and said, oh friends, there are a lot of problems around us. The problem is not money. The problem is of idea. Especially ideas, environmental ideas. So we should always try that we should have good environmental knowledge. And we should we are caring for our common sense. Thank you.